Welcome to the Knowledge Entrepreneurs Show, where we celebrate the innovators driving change in the education industry. At Edison OS, we've worked with over 500 knowledge entrepreneurs to turn their edtech ideas into profitable businesses. Okay, great. So let's get started. Hubert, before I get into the podcast and start asking you questions and stuff like that, I'll walk you through what is this, even though we've spoken earlier, but I think it's better to kind of put it out there now so that, we kind of take the podcast in that direction. So as the name suggests, it's called the Knowledge Entrepreneur Show, right? So this podcast is focused on talking to people who are in the education domain, who are in the knowledge business, and who are founders or CEOs or building a tech product or something like that, who are building a business basically. Now, why are we talking to people from the knowledge entrepreneurship space? We are a company who are, into making learning management softwares and the tech infrastructure that is needed for a training business to kind of thrive. So given that we are in that space, we always wanted to put out value to people who would be our clients, or who are probably visiting our website. And most of the people, our target audience, are people who are aspiring knowledge entrepreneurs, who might be trainers now, who might be teachers now, who are working for some other company, who might want to start their company. But it doesn't mean that this podcast is to help them start a company. This is just to give them an insight about what's happening in the business. What does it take to run a knowledge entrepreneurship business? And it need not always have to help them start a business. It can also help them decide, oh, I might be a teacher, I might be a trainer, but probably it's not my cup of tea to run this business, because that's a whole different aspect altogether, right? So it can also give them value like that, and can save them a lot of time and resources and effort as well, by helping them decide, okay, business is not for them, maybe they'll just stick with training. Or some people, it can give them enough information to go ahead and start also. So that's the idea about this. And the questions are mostly going to be surrounding your business, skoolbx.com, although it's spelled skoolbx.com. But I think it, pronouncing it Skoolbx only. So yeah, that is. And what is the value for, you're putting in your time, you're taking your time out to come. We hope to give you a bit of visibility with the kind of distribution that we've planned. We are in a very early stages. At some point, we are looking to grow this, uh, you know, to a decent number of viewership, at which point I think there'll be some benefits as well. But yeah, this is about it, Hubert. So let's get started. Before I start, again, thank you so much. My first question is going to be very open-ended, uh, getting to know you sort of a question, because I think when people connect with you, Hubert, before we get into your business, I think it helps a lot for people to kind of stick around, and then all your stories and all the knowledge that you'll share, will make much more sense. So, Hubert, if you can walk us through your journey. It can start as early as your childhood, where you grew up, and then what took you to this day running this particular business. If you can walk us through that in any great detail, it'll be very helpful.
Yeah, I mean, going back to childhood, my dad was in a transferable job, so we moved around a lot.
Okay.
So as a result, I did not have what you call long-lasting friendships
Right.
because of that. And so I would, books used to be my best friend. So I
Okay.
was a bit nerdy from childhood itself.
Okay.
And yeah, I would read books and so on. So there began my journey about learning things and
Right.
being a bit of an avid reader, avid learner. In school as well, I used to do pretty well at literary based things, talking to people, and slowly I felt that my communication skills were good.
Okay.
And I never took up teaching, or being part of the tutoring field immediately after that.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, I think about 10 years after I started working,
Mm.
I would teach students part time. It
Right.
was never a full time commitment, but I liked it, and somehow the students liked it as well. So, as early as 2014, way before the pandemic, I started teaching online students from USA uh, and other parts of the world. And soon, being an early riser, I had that time. So I would wake up at 3:30 in the morning,
Wow.
and yeah, there was not there's not much else to do at that time. Everyone is sleeping, and so I found that this teaching at that time for US students and students from South America worked for me, and somehow the students liked it. And it then I got students from other places, from Europe, from Africa in the evenings, late evenings after work, and sometimes even during the afternoon, students from Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia, Singapore and Indonesia. So almost all six continents I have taught students from. That's predominantly math and sciences at
Right.
a high school, pre-university level. And whatever experience that I gathered from there with my own inputs, we started Skoolbx in just before the pandemic started. So about little over 3 years back. So that is my journey into what I am and how Skoolbx was born.
Got it, Hubert. Thank you. So, Hubert, you said your dad was in transferable jobs, and that didn't allow you to kind of settle down in any location. And obviously, there are outcomes because of that. So, I mean, are you an army kid?
No, no. My dad was working for a company called Siemens. They were at that
Siemens, yeah.
time manufacturing medical
Right.
products, not tech or instruments as they do now.
Right.
So because of that, I think he was transferred. I think two or three times, not army, but this field.
Got it. Got it. I'm so sorry. I mean, most of them,
Yeah, yeah,
it's it's the army thing that keeps them moving. So,
yeah.
what are the parts of India that you've spent time in?
So three places predominantly: Mumbai, where I was born,
Okay.
then moved to Madhya Pradesh, Indore,
Right.
which also is a medical
Hub.
hub,
Right.
and then from there on to Bangalore. These three places. So
Okay.
when we moved to Bangalore, I think that's when my dad gave up the job, and he decided to go into agriculture. So coffee
Oh, interesting.
planter is what he chose as his profession.
Okay. Great. So, by the time you were in Bangalore, were you working? Were you still
No,
studying?
no, I was still in school. So
Okay.
all these changes happened while I was still a school child.
Okay.
Uh,
Got it. Got it. Got it, Hubert. So, Hubert, you said, you started teaching sometime in 2014 while you were working. So, what was your work about?
I had graduated to be a software engineer,
Okay.
and I finished my college in 1996.
Okay.
And from 1996 till about that time, I worked in various capacities in the
Okay.
IT field.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, and a little before 2014, I had
Okay.
actually started a small company
Hmm.
which did testing. So
Hmm.
testing, as in
Right.
tests for psychometric evaluation, or even for MBA preparation, that sort of thing. So a company that generates tests or creates tests uh, for these students,
Students.
even
Got
for
it.
company appraisals. So in that
Ah.
course, actually, during the course of that, being part of that particular project, so to speak,
Hmm.
I encountered a customer from the USA who were looking for teachers, and that's how the teaching started, because of this particular project.
Right. I was definitely gonna get there. I was a little curious as to how to connect the dots. So I assume that given your software experience and since 1996, and probably the work you did, that's how you saw some sort of a scope in that area. And when you say testing, I think it was. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm assuming it's a combination of your software skills and your education background as well, right?
Yeah.
That's it, kind of merged, and that's how you started off something like that. So what happened to that company, Hubert? Did you
So
start while you were
yeah,
still working, or
no,
did
it
you
was
take a leap of faith and you quit your job? How did it go?
yeah. I was doing it parallel. So there were two of us, two
Right,
partners,
right,
and this was in parallel to work.
right,
So we would, get people who are in the education field to create tests for us
right.
based on the requirements from the customers, who are sometimes software companies
Hmm.
or even universities. So who
Okay,
wanted these tests.
right.
Yeah, so it was in parallel while I was working itself. So I did not quit my job. Yeah.
Got it. So when you say you worked with another partner to create these tests, was it only from a content perspective, or was it about you presenting to them in a like a software tool or something like that?
No, it was purely content. They had
Purely
designed the
content.
framework. Yeah, they had designed the framework for us,
Okay,
and also they gave us the level what the test should be about. This level, so
got it,
level of filtration for
got
the
it.
candidates. That's the only two things. So it was purely content driven. No, nothing else.
Got it. So, but how did this come about? Were you like always inclined towards, something entrepreneurial, and that's how you stumbled upon this, or because you were in software,
Yeah.
and then now I understand that it did not even have anything to do with your software experience. It's purely content driven. So, what's the connection?
Yeah, I think I was always drawn towards being an entrepreneur.
Right.
Even while I was working, my mom had a store. She ran a store for
Mm,
about 25 years. So while she was having the store, I think I got involved in that after my work as well,
got it.
helping her out. And, you know, uh, during the time, she was not well actually for a few months. So that time I was more, uh, I participated a lot more in the store. And I was able to take that business forward, do well in it, and then we opened up another branch and so on and so forth. So it was good, and both of them were self-running. They were doing well, and then I moved to this with another partner who actually came up with the idea. So he was doing
Hmm.
it on a smaller level, and I said, I think I feel that this has a little bit of scope, and if we make small changes, we will be able to get take this business forward to a level where we can be financially comfortable. That was the goal actually. Yeah.
Got it, Hubert. Yeah, I can relate so much because, yeah, that drive to come out of a certain system and then do things as per one's accord. Yeah, I think that's what I see here. And the store that you're talking about is in Bangalore, I believe, right? After you
Yeah,
came to
yeah.
Bangalore. And what store is this?
It was there. Now they don't exist there. It was a gift store. It
Okay.
was in Indiranagar, Bangalore,
Okay.
and yeah, the other one was in Whitefield, the new one that we opened. But then
Got it.
later on, we sold both of them as the retail business was winding up and online
Online.
stores
Right.
were coming up. So I
Right.
think at that time, luckily, we were able to sell at the right time, and we got a good price for both those stores as well. So yeah.
Okay. And going back to the testing business that you're talking about, right? So what happened to that? Like, where did it reach? Did you
So yeah,
close
the
close it?
testing business eventually wound up because I think my partner decided to go abroad. So he got
Okay.
married and started a family,
Okay.
and I think family commitment took him abroad. So
Okay.
we were not able to continue the business.
Okay.
So we sort of just wound it down instead of selling. We did not find a buyer, or we could not sell it. So
Got
we
it.
just slowly wound it down. That's about it.
You could not continue that on your own, Hubert.
Uh, I actually, started at that time. I was still working and doing a little bit of teaching as well, and
Okay.
I felt that there was a bigger role to play in teaching. Plus, my partner,
Hmm.
the one who had better experience in in this testing department. It was not my department so much.
Okay.
He had most of the knowledge, so I was just bringing along the little bit of business know-how that I had from my store and this and that and few ideas. I think uh, the core of the business, he was still the person. So when he left, I would have found it very difficult to continue without him.
Got it, Hubert. Interesting. You're saying, so I was thinking otherwise. I thought, okay, you probably played the role of the content creation, and then he would bring the business. I don't know why I thought that,
He
but
was working for a company that used to do this before, and then slowly
ha,
he branched out, by himself, and
got
he
it, got it.
approached me, and that's how we tied up. So he was the main person in this.
Got it, got it. The reason I'm, trying to go so, deep into this is, there's an insight here that I'd like to draw and, share it to the listeners. Even I have seen this, right? Most of the entrepreneurs, now there are two types of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
One are the ones who know, they don't know what they want to do, but they know that they want to do something on their own. They want to be entrepreneurs. And then how they choose a business, that's different. It could be, from family, friends, and but there's another set of entrepreneurs who will be working and who would spot an opportunity in their workspace, and then because of the experience and expertise that they would have, they would see an opportunity for them to kind of grow a company. So this is something that I thought uh, can help people who are listening. So if they are working, it's always a little, they have an edge when they're working because they are exposed to the market. They know how that business runs and everything. All they need to do that is just all they need to do to grow from there on is probably branch out and get new clients, where as opposed to people who know that they want to get into entrepreneurship but they have no idea, they need to do everything from scratch. So yeah, so I'm sure, do you kind of concur with this, Hubert?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get into running your own business, you have to be very confident about it. You
Hmm.
can't go with half-hearted feeling, saying that, listen, I'm going to try this. If it works, it's great. You can't have that thought. You can't
Right,
have a safety net, so to speak. You
right,
have to go into it wholeheartedly and
right,
just give it everything. If you're prepared to do that, then
right,
you should take that leap. Uh, yeah, only. And I feel that before going in, your preparation should be quite thorough.
right,
You should not go in there and hope that things will work out. You have to, you know, play out the business, so to speak, in your mind, understand the market, and all the things that, the business books and wisdom gives you. You have to follow through on all of that, and uh, try and play it out in your mind. And once you believe that it will work, then you give it all you have. Make sure that you have good people around you who are are in this field, and that you talk to them before going in, because it's impossible for you to think of everything yourself.
right.
You have to, you have to depend on other people. So that's very important part of business, that you have as many trustworthy people. You can't listen to everybody also, but few trustworthy people, I think you have to uh, talk to them and also use them as sounding board every now and then. But you should be have the conviction to go. That's very important.
Got it. There's no half-heartedness in entrepreneurship. You go all in is the message that I'll take away. And Hubert, this particular content business, the testing business you were in, how long were you part of it? How long did it
Uh,
last?
about 4 years.
Wow, that's quite some time. So, if there's something that you took away from that business, right, for 4 years, what was it? What are the lessons that you carried forward from there?
Yeah, some things that we did not expect,
Hmm.
especially things like delayed payments, which I
Right.
did not, I did not foresee that,
Hmm.
um, but that used to happen a lot. Though
Hmm.
we were able to recover almost about 90% of what people owed us,
Hmm.
but still that was something that I did not factor in, and that affected our ability to pay the people who are working with us. People who are creating this content. Um, So sometimes we would have to borrow from the market to pay, and then once you borrow,
Hmm.
you have to pay interest on that money.
Right.
So that affected profit margin. So that was something that I did not foresee.
Okay.
Later on, of course, we changed a few things around, saying that we do the work in 4 phases, and every phase you have to pay us about 25%.
Right.
So I think that that risk mitigation helped a lot, and customers were also okay with it. Um yeah, but initially that was sort of unexpected for me.
Got it. No, valid point, because I can, so far, I've spoken to about 6 to 7 guests, and a couple of them have touched upon this point. There was one guest, who run a art academy online based out of Chennai.
Okay.
They started off as an event management company, and one of their first experiences was very similar to what you said. In fact, larger and bigger, maybe, where they did a lot of work and they had to learn it the hard way about, no matter what, no matter how big a project you're going to bag, you need to take some amount of money in advance, for you to not fall into a deeper pit.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, this is a common thing that come across. Um, Great. And so you said, you were working with people to create content. These were partners, these were freelancers, or they were on your payroll, freelancers.
They were freelancers. Yeah.
Freelancers, got it. And when you spoke about recovery, Hubert, what was that experience like? Did you have to, how did you recover? Was it simply following up in a gentle way? Were the people good enough, or did you have to try different methods? What was it? How easy or difficult was recovery?
Yeah, I mean, it was difficult, to be very honest.
Okay.
Um, People would give you all sorts of reasons. I'm sure that everybody knows, to
Right.
try and delay the payment.
Right.
But here it was mostly repeat customers. So
Hmm.
customers would ask for next business and so on and so forth. So at that time, we were able to, tell them that work might slow down if the
Hmm.
payments don't come in. So I think at that time they kind of paid, but it was very difficult, and um, it took away time and attention from the actual business itself, which
Right.
was a little disappointing. But yeah, it's all part of the business, and I think the next time or in future, as we were growing, we factored that also in.
Right.
Knowing that people might take a little long to pay. That was the biggest sort of challenge or something that was unexpected to me. But yeah, we were able to, and I think for us, when we were, recovering the payments, we were never angry or
Hmm.
upset or bitter. We accepted it, and I think we uh, always spoke to them in a rational and reasonable manner.
Right.
Um, and I think that also is important, because if you're upset, angry, and you create a scene and things like that, then you could lose both the money and the business. So
Right. Right.
keep an eye
Exactly.
on the
Yeah.
future, saying that these are our partners, we are getting money from them, and we don't want to lose the customer and the money as well. So we tried to be rational and reasonable with them, but kept sending them regular reminders, and I think uh, to some extent that helped.
No, I think this is a very important lesson again here, because there could be times when you can lose it, right? But what are you going to gain by losing it? You're only going to lose. You need to collect some money. The only way that you're going to do that is, anyway you're trapped. The only positive thing that you can do here is to be patient. There are chances, but if you lose it a little bit, you even take yourself out of that little chance of recovering. So I think this could be another insight that we can draw out of this experience
Yeah,
of
I
yours,
mean, it's
Hubert.
a small, business communities are usually very small, closed
Right.
uh, communities, so to speak. And if you do something like that, then word gets around pretty quickly that these guys are unstable, and that will hamper business coming from other sides as well. So you have to be a little cautious about those things.
Oh yeah, that also, the network effect, the way people look at you in your business circle,
Yeah.
the reputation that you build over time, a lot of stuff. Got it. So I assume so. You said that you started focusing on teaching from 2014. So I assume this business was started somewhere in 2010, and then it went on till 2014. Is that the
I
time
was
period?
doing, yeah, correct. 2010, I think 2015 we were on, 2010, 2011-ish. Almost
11ish. Got it.
2015, yeah.
Got it. And during this period also, were you teaching? No,
Towards the end, I started teaching.
started teaching.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, 2014 is when I started teaching, and I think a year before this business shut down,
got it.
before he got married and took off. So
Right.
at that time, I started teaching, and I, I mean, for me that was fantastic. I mean, teaching was like, oh my goodness, I didn't
So
know
how
it would be
how
this good. Yeah.
how did you get to the teaching, starting of the teaching aspect? Like, where did you get the opportunity from? What
From
was
one of
that all about?
our customers. This particular
Ha.
company had a customer in the US who was looking for content.
Okay.
And in providing content, in the interactions, they said, we are a teaching website, and we have students from the US and South America, and
Right.
they're looking for teachers. So anyone, just let us know. So I said, I don't mind giving it a shot. The timing seems like perfect for me, and
Right.
teaching is something that I felt that this is good. I could interact with the young people. And teaching, as you know, is not just teaching, it's also guiding the children, talking to them, and
Right.
sometimes
Right.
listening to them and helping them with their confidence and other things apart from
Right.
the actual teaching itself, the actual providing of the content. There's other things. So I was very excited to take this on because it'll give me an opportunity to interact with these young people also.
Got it. And you were working all this while, correct?
Yeah,
You're
I
still
was.
you're
But
still not
yeah,
quit your job.
yeah, but I think at that time, 2016, immediately after I started this,
Mhm.
uh, then I sort of wound down. I did not work at that time
Oh, okay. The
because
teaching went so big, it could
no, no,
kind
no,
of,
not so much. I think at that time, because we had sold both of our stores,
okay.
so we had a decent amount of money,
Ha, got it.
and yeah, I thought that work was getting too taxing, and if I continue in the same way, then I will not get anywhere. With all due respect, I mean, I had no problems at work. People were great.
Right.
Everything was good. But for me, on a personal level, that I felt that I was not really going anywhere.
Hmm.
With working, I felt that I could contribute more or do more with my life.
Right.
Doing other things, and teaching actually was fantastic because I was interacting with people, young people, others involved in this particular field.
Got it, Hubert. So, while you were working, how many hours would you teach? I mean,
Uh,
morning and late
yeah,
evenings put together.
mornings about 4 hours, and evening about 2 3 hours. But once I quit working,
Hmm.
I was teaching yeah, some crazy hours actually.
Yeah,
There were
yeah,
times,
that's what I was coming to next. 4 plus
yeah,
3, 7, and then you work for like 10 hours,
yeah,
say. That's 18 hours of solid work.
yeah, 18 to 20 hours also.
Wow.
I would
Okay.
do. I have um if you may call it, a bit of a problem with sleep. I can't sleep too much. I can only sleep for about 3 hours to 4 hours. Uh,
Okay.
this has been going on since I think almost the last 10 years. Even on Sundays or anything, I just can't sleep too
Okay.
much. I sleep around midnight, and I wake up at about 3:15 every morning without an alarm. So
I
uh,
wish I could do that. I don't think it's a problem, but
yeah,
yeah, health practitioners would definitely say,
that's a concern. A lot of people warned me and said that it
yeah,
could affect. So far, thankfully, nothing untoward has happened.
right.
And I just can't sleep. That's a bit of a issue. I hope everything is okay.
Okay. I mean, have you consulted
Yeah,
professionals?
I went to doctors. Of course, they told me it's not right, but the vitals and everything was okay. So
Was
they
okay.
said that it looks fine for the moment, but just keep getting yourself tested regularly.
Right.
And even the smallest indicator or signal, just immediately seek professional help or go visit a professional. So I keep that in mind.
Got it, Hubert. That's great for you as long as it hasn't affected you. It's good. Because there are some people, who do not have that kind of a time, because they have to sleep for 7 hours, 8 hours,
Yeah.
right? So maybe it's a good thing for you, and that's great. And so how many, okay, so your quitting of the job has nothing to do with your teaching. It had to do with your store and stuff like that. Fair enough. But how long did you do this dual thing of working and teaching?
Um, Working and teaching, working and doing other things almost uh, for about 6 years, but
6 years.
working and teaching just a couple of years. That's all.
Okay. Okay. And then once you stopped working, how many hours of full-time teaching were you into?
I mean, I on a regular day it could be 8 to 10 hours, but it has gone up some days to even 17, 18 hours, depending on my schedule. So if
Got it.
I had free time, I would just use it for teaching, and I never used to get tired. Even if I taught for 17, 18 hours, I was not very tired or drained or anything like that. So I
Great.
realized that this is a good thing, for me. If you're doing something for that long and you don't feel
Yeah.
emotionally drained, then I think it means that you're liking it and enjoying it.
Right. Right. And this was one-to-one tutoring.
Yeah, one to one. A few, sometimes you had groups, but by and large it was one to one.
And it's largely academic, maths and science.
Yeah, just academic.
And what is the age group that you taught to?
High school and junior college. So you can say grade 8 to grade 12.
Okay. And what is the curriculum that we're talking about here, Hubert?
Um, Initially, we started with the US. I started with the US curriculum. US
Okay.
has essentially two curriculums.
Mm-hmm.
The old and even now the favored one is state-wise curriculum. So every state has their own curriculum.
Okay.
The northern states, usually the curriculum is a little more sort of advanced and developed. Southern states, it's about one grade behind.
Okay.
Uh, and I think when Obama came in, he tried to bring in something common, like we have the central board, CBSC and ICSE here.
Right.
He tried to bring in a common system called Common Core, but that
Hmm.
has not really taken off yet. There are some schools and some states following that, but by and
Okay.
large, it is still state-wise. It's very close to your IGCSE and IB. So, because of teaching in the US, I was able to teach children here and in Singapore and Indonesia and those countries, IB and IGCSE curriculum. They're very similar, methodology and curriculum.
Got it, Hubert. And in India, we know the kind of fees or the amount of money that a private tutor can charge on an hourly basis, right? Say it would range anywhere between as low as 150 rupees, maybe max 700 rupees, right? We are talking on the highest level. Average would be 300, 400 rupees. And of course, there are certain outliers where, SAT trainings can fetch
Yeah,
you as much as about 4,000 rupees per hour. But teaching to the students from the US, now, first of all, I'd like to get this clarified. You were paid not directly by the student, but you were paid by the company that employed you, that connected
yes,
you between the student
yes,
and you.
yes.
Okay, so they would charge the student and then they would pay you a certain amount of money.
That's right.
Okay, and what is the hourly, were you paid on an hourly basis for this?
Yeah, hourly basis. Yeah. At
Okay,
the
and
end of
what
the
is the kind
following
of
month,
money that we're looking at here?
I think at that time, 2014, 2015,
Hmm.
I think I started off with $8 per hour at that time.
Okay.
And then later on, I think as I grew,
Hmm.
I think 2018, 2019,
Hmm.
I was getting paid close to about $15 per hour. So between 8 and 15. Yeah.
Got
It
it.
was not huge money or
Not
anything. I
huge,
was,
but
yeah,
not very low either. Pretty
not very low.
decent. Yes. If you just had to be at home, no travel, and
Yeah, yeah. Correct.
and it's also very, the profession is also very, not too much pressure,
It's
I'd
been
say,
chilled out.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty chill. As long as you're pretty good at your subjects and the students are
yeah.
happy. It's a stress-free job,
Exactly. Yeah.
except for the kind of number of hours that you do. So, Hubert, a little bit of a detour here, just to come out and, to all the listeners, right? They might be wondering, okay, you know what? How can I kind of get this kind of an opportunity? So, would you just say, you were at the right place, right time? Or, if you had to kind of help people out who are listening, if somebody are looking to get such kind of an opportunity, is there a way that you can help them out with?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to go as a personal tutor by yourself, your own individual journey,
Right.
then I think you have to put yourself out there. So
Hmm.
nowadays there are a lot of platforms
Right.
uh, which are like marketplaces for tutors, and you
Right.
can put yourself out there. Make sure that you're on all of those platforms. That way, your visibility will increase.
You're talking about the US market?
Not US is difficult
Huh.
to this thing. With US, uh, you can put yourself out on platforms, but difficult. I think starting with India is good for
Right.
people here,
Hmm.
and I think in US you need just that one breakthrough sometimes.
Right.
And mostly, you get these tutoring opportunities through word of mouth. If you
Right.
are teaching a particular student really well, it's very likely that their classmate or someone from
Hmm.
their contact will be suggested. So
Got it.
it's word of mouth referrals work the best here. So you have to be really good at your job, and
Right.
make sure that whatever happens, try to maintain a discipline.
Hmm.
You can't be doing these things as and when you want, because when you commit to the student for a year, then you have to be aware that the child will have tests and this and that, so you can't
Hmm.
really during their test time you can't take off on a vacation for 20 days or
Right.
something, or you can't
It's
cancel classes for
commitment.
flimsy reasons and things. So the professionalism is also very important. Apart from your knowledge and teaching skills, professionalism is very, very important.
I was gonna come to this.
Yeah.
So Hubert, you have experience teaching and you've done it successfully. There are two aspects to teaching, right? In fact, three. After you probably mentioned the word professionalism, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But when it comes to teaching, there are the main things that comes to me is that one is how good you are at what you teach, the subject knowledge that you have. That's one thing. Let's assume everybody has that. Okay, I mean, teachers, I'm sure without that they wouldn't go out and put themselves out there.
Yeah.
Apart from teaching, the expertise that you have on the subject, what other skills that you need to have to succeed?
Okay, I'll give you a broad outline. Skoolbx has like a 20-page dossier on this.
Wow.
What
Okay.
are the things needed? And our
And I
tutors
haven't even come to
recommend us to
school box yet.
yeah,
Okay, cool,
go
cool, cool.
through
But yeah,
yeah,
please.
go
Yeah.
through that.
Okay.
But broadly, I think tutors need to have a lot of patience. Patience is very important. You can't lose it.
Right.
You have to. Sometimes some children take longer than others to get
Hmm.
a particular topic. Not everyone learns at the same pace, so you have to
Right.
be very patient. Uh, at the same time, encouraging children at that age, and especially children who are not very good at their subject, from everybody they always hear negative vibes. They always get from parents, maybe
Right.
from neighbors, relatives, uh, school teachers, peers, and so on and so forth. So they're sick and tired of that. So
Right.
as a tutor, you can offer them something else, and it's quite surprising that some children who other people call as dull students, not capable of studying, they don't deserve to be in the school. The moment you give them a little bit of confidence and space to make mistakes and learn from it, and cultivate that little love for learning, you'll be surprised how quickly they can turn around and start excelling at their subject. And for me, apart from the money, these have been like enormous rewards to see a child just turn around, especially someone who says,
Yeah.
I hate the subject, or I
Yeah.
don't like this, and constantly weighed down by everything that goes around them.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't just affect them academically, it affects their entire personality.
Right.
For them to break out of that and then come out feeling good about themselves, doing well at school, uh, it's so nice to see. For me,
Right.
that that is a big reward.
Got it. Got it. Um,
You
no,
said three, right? So one is patience, the other is professionalism, and the third one could be your
okay,
ability to be.
Hubert. No, sorry to interrupt. No, I didn't mean three like that.
Oh,
You
okay.
have 20 list, 20-page dossier. You can go on and on. What I meant was, I thought, there are three aspects to teaching to succeed.
Oh,
One
okay.
is the hold on your subject.
Yeah.
One more is the other skills, like you said, right? The rapport that you build with the student. It's not just about coming and just talking about the subject, right? It's about how you interact, your
Yeah.
comfortness with
Yeah. Yeah.
the child and stuff like that. That is
Yeah.
also very important. And then I thought, okay, professionalism in terms of your commitment. It's like a project you take up. You don't give up on the kid till the kid completes the exam, because there is also the kid also undergoes a certain curve where they get familiar
Yes.
with the person, and they build a rapport, they get comfortable. By the time it's 3 months, I don't think it's nice, it's good on the part of the teacher to kind of leave at that point, because then it's a whole other process for the kid. So these are what I thought. But yeah, you can talk about the other things that you think a teacher needs apart from these things,
Yeah. I mean,
Hubert.
broad
Got it.
based. Of course, patience,
Right.
professionalism, and your ability to be honest with the student.
Right.
Um, Many times you may not. I mean, honesty comes in many forms. Many times they may ask you a question which you don't know the answer to. So
Right.
there are examples of teachers who've, just to get out of that situation, they might have told the wrong answer to the
Wrong
child.
answer. Right.
You
Right.
have to
Right.
be honest there and say, I don't know. I'll let you know in the next class. I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to this. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'll let you know next class.
Yeah.
Or, I'll message it to you later if I have their phone number. So it's very important. And also to be honest to the child also. If they're
Right.
doing not so well,
Hmm.
you can change the language. You can sort of dress it up a little bit and
Hmm.
tell them, convey to them clearly where they're at, and also what we are going to achieve realistically in the next
Right.
2 months. Set
Right.
realistic targets for them and help them to achieve those. uh, Giving them false uh, hopes and unrealistic expectations, so they themselves will later be disappointed. Give them realistic goals, be honest with them, uh, give them honest appraisals every now and then, but give them
Got it.
encouragement and support also at the same time. Make sure that they know that you are not the person who is going to berate them and put them down.
Hmm.
Make sure that you are like their your their role model, as well as someone they can always come to, even if it's a non-academic problem.
Right.
Then they say, I don't feel motivated to study, what do I do? They should be comfortable enough to tell you that.
Right.
Or, I
Right.
don't like this particular topic, it's really boring. They should be
Right.
comfortable enough to tell you that. So get them to that position.
Right.
And I always tell them, like, if you find the subject boring, just tell me. I'll
Tell
find
me. Yeah.
another way to teach it to you.
Right.
So
Right.
that will help me to improve as a teacher. I will learn a new way of teaching, so which
Right.
I can employ maybe with some other students. So we grow as teachers as well when we have
Yeah.
students giving us inputs. Or saying, and every child, every situation sometimes is different. You don't encounter the same child, same situation, even though you teach the same subject, but it's never really delivered in the same way to everybody. Yeah.
Got it, Hubert. I was gonna come to that.
Yeah.
What I was gonna come to was that you've had quite a bit of experience, right? You would have seen a varied number of types of children that you would have
Yeah.
taught to. There would be some children, who'd be razor focused, and they know that they're here to study and crack and whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's not much of a job for you to do there. You just have to like help them with whatever they ask, and they are professionals. You are a professional, and then you move away. But then there are other kids, who come with a lot of other problems. It could be from family, or some child may not be interested, their talents may be lying somewhere else, but then they need to clear, just pass, and stuff like this. Or it could also be from an attention perspective also. Not all children can be very attentive. Some people might have it less, some people. So when you start to a new child, teaching to a new child, right? After so much of experience, did you figure out a way to kind of, okay, this child is, falls under this category. This is the kind of method I'm going to employ to teach this. Did you arrive at that? And if you did, what are those broad types, and how
Yeah,
did you adapt yourself to that,
yeah,
Hubert?
yeah. This is another uh, very well researched subject at Skoolbx itself. So we have
Right,
13 different parameters for every child as they come in, and there's actually not for all students, but once a student comes in and for some time into Skoolbx, there are a set of about 50 questions which
right.
have very simple answers. You can do that entire answer the entire set of 50 questions in about 7 to 8 minutes. It's just that you have a question like, do you uh, do you like to play just after
Got it.
coming back from school or something? And so the answers will be agree strongly, agree,
Got it.
no comment, and so five different options for that, and the options are of course the same. So from the answers that are given by the students as well as the teachers, uh, we not categorize, but we assign them a score.
Hmm.
And the teachers and students that have the closest score are generally matched based on personality.
Ah,
So their
interesting.
relationship will be better
Right,
because
right.
we can, relate and understand each other a lot better. So this is something that we have developed. That's where the tech side of Skoolbx, uh, or most of the work has gone in the tech side. So we call this our matching matrix, wherein
Got it.
students and teachers are matched based on these 13 different personality parameters. It's some ways similar to the
Myers-Briggs,
uh,
is it based on that?
yeah, my MBIT Myers Briggs, but Myers Briggs categorizes you into a certain type.
Right.
Our system is a lot more fluid. It assigns you a score, which could even be a whole number or a decimal, and then it gets close match. So it does not put you into a box, but it's a little more fluid.
Excellent. Excellent, Hubert. This is like amazing stuff because I've known people who teach, at these big edtech companies, like say the huge volume companies.
Yeah,
And, I've not heard of such things because it's just very random. People come for a demo, and then, it's conversion from there. Salespeople call them up, and then, they just match it with the teachers, and then it goes
yeah,
like that. There's no methodology as such, but this is brilliant. I'm sure this saves so much, even from a business perspective, because
yeah,
you are giving Skoolbx a higher chance for the student to feel comfortable with the teacher, and even for the teacher, right? The job's going to become so much more easier if you go to this level to match them. That's great. Okay. So Hubert, great. So far, great. Now, I'd like to, go to Skoolbx. You said Skoolbx started in 2020,
yeah.
sometime around the pandemic. It's been about 3 years of journey so
Just a
far.
little before, just a
Just a
week
little.
before. Yeah,
What a timing! First of all, it's amazing timing. I think it helped that you were already in this domain. But if you noticed, a lot of online teaching portals were established after the pandemic hit because that was a need of the hour. But you seem to have kind of naturally and organically started it before the pandemic.
yeah.
So Hubert, tell me, you were teaching for this company. At what point did the thought arise, okay, why not I do this myself? I start a company myself. Can you just walk me through that entire starting, and then, how did you come and start Skoolbx, the entire journey of that?
Yeah, so from 2014, I started teaching for an edtech company which was
Right,
based in the US.
right.
And apart from that, I was doing a few side gigs as well because they had customers only from US, but
Got it.
from other places, I had put myself out there,
Right,
registered with various other companies. I think Tutoring was one of them, and a few others.
right.
So they were getting me students from different places. I wanted to understand students from different backgrounds
Hmm,
and what their subject is
hmm,
like.
hmm.
Um, so I was doing this from 2014, and I was with eTutor World, the company that I started with,
Hmm.
up till about 2019, I think 5 years I
Hmm.
worked with them.
Hmm.
And around that time, I felt that, certain processes or certain things could be done in a better way.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I don't think this company was ready to do it in that way. And I felt
Hmm.
that if it had to be done, then I should give it a shot.
Great.
And then I knew these two gentlemen who were my co-founders,
Okay.
Kailash Gupta and Mayur Pai.
Hmm.
So they actually run very successfully uh, a sort of a restaurant
Hmm.
business.
Okay.
They own many hotels of different types. So
In
they own
Bangalore?
in Bangalore, yeah, in Bangalore and outside also.
Okay.
Most of the restaurants are in Bangalore. So they own a line of Chungwa outlets. They
Oh,
own
okay.
the Santrupti brand and a few
Yes.
hotels. So
Yes.
many hotels there. So they
Oh,
are.
for your information, I'm a Bangalorean as well.
Oh, is
So
it okay?
that's the reason I'm so curious whenever you bring in such things. And I used to like eat out a lot also. So I was a little curious as to, okay, what are these
Oh,
restaurants?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are foodies to the core.
Okay.
Not me so much, but they are. They talk about it all the time, and they're really interested and they're really good at it. What they do.
Right.
So they have many restaurants. So naturally, they were. I needed someone who was good at business
Hmm. Hmm.
and had the knowledge on how to manage people in a
Hmm.
slightly large setup.
Hmm.
Because what I was doing, even with the testing company, was a small setup. It was not
Right.
large. So
Right.
there is an organizational structure. When you have a slightly larger setup,
Right.
and how the roles are to be demarcated, and
Hmm.
responsibilities, and how the system works. We
Hmm.
can't reinvent the wheel, so it's good to have someone who knows this already. So
Right.
that's the reason why I tied up with Kailash and Mayur,
Hmm.
and with them they also brought along other people who had
Hmm.
worked previously in in the industry in slightly more senior roles.
Right.
So they had an overview into these structures,
Hmm.
how it works, the HR department to the tech department to operations and all of those things, and how they interact with each other, what is the kind of reporting that is needed,
Right.
and so on and so forth. So I think that's what we did, and Skoolbx was born as a result. At that time, we wanted to do it properly. We wanted to do it in the right way. We wanted it to be COVID proof, even though we were excited that
Right.
COVID brought along with it um, unreasonably large business. But we knew that that was just a black swan event, something that
Correct. Yeah.
is not going to happen again.
Yeah.
And we wanted our business to be COVID proof. So we were not worried, we were not excited that COVID happened and so on and so forth. We were all the time working on our processes, our tech, making sure that our product is really really good. From hearing customer feedback to everything, we wanted our product to be really really good. And sometimes we have even sacrificed a little bit of business customers for making sure that the tech and everything is working properly and perfectly well, as best as it possibly can. So I think that was a good decision to take.
Great. So, you okay, so now you get this idea while you're teaching for eTutor
Yeah,
World. You think that there are certain processes that can be tightened and made
yeah,
better, and then you think, okay, probably you are the person to do it.
yeah,
And now you are thinking of, okay, starting something on your own. Now, the other two co-founders that you're talking about, Mayur Pai and Kailash Gupta, now these people were your friends? You already knew
yeah.
them, or you, okay, got it,
I
got
knew
it.
them, but not very closely. But I knew them from about 20 years. On and off, we used to meet. We had
Okay.
sort of kept our friendship going, though we
Right.
were not sort of in each other's lives, so to speak.
Got it.
But
Got it.
we had a decent friendship going from the college days.
Got
So
it.
Kailash was my college mate. Mayur
Okay.
was doing engineering, but Mayur used to come and meet You
You
know,
didn't do engineering, Hubert. You
no,
didn't do
I did
engineering.
not. I
Okay.
graduated from St. Joseph's College of Arts and Sciences, so I
Arts
did
and science.
science.
Yeah. On the Brigade Road, that is.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Great. I did my PUC from Joseph's
Oh, really?
Residency Road. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Joseph
But
Five.
yeah. Not the arts and science though, because I moved on to engineering and stuff. So yeah. But
Oh,
I used to walk past arts and science college pretty much every single day to catch my
oh, okay.
bus back home.
Oh, okay, okay. Wonderful.
Yeah. So now I mean, you're friends from 20 years, right? So
Yeah.
where whenever you used to catch up for whatever reason, in whatever capacity, did you used to have, conversations surrounding business and enterprise and stuff like that?
Not in a very serious capacity until about 6 months before we started Skoolbx, and
School
that is the
box.
time.
Right.
Excuse me, I have a
No
bit
problem,
of a
Hubert.
cold. So
No
sorry.
problem. No problem.
So 6 months before we started Skoolbx, I think we met because a common friend of ours had come to Bangalore, so we happened to meet.
Okay.
And then I discussed this idea with them, saying that, guys, this is the plan that I have, and I want you guys, when I created
So,
the
Hubert, hold on. I'm so sorry. The reason I asked you this question and the build up to this
yeah,
question is this, right? Now, it's one thing that if you always talk about business and then ideas are flying around, that's one thing. But then, you said you don't do that. And then, you're very focusedly decided to talk about Skoolbx. Now, tell me, just this is for the benefit of the listeners out there, who'd be in similar situations. How did you identify? You must have had a lot of people in your mind, but how did you kind of zero down on Kailash Gupta and Mayur Pai? And what gave you the confidence that, you could go and pitch it to them? So, what were the pre-preparations or the preparations that you did before you went and had that conversation? Did you tell them before, hey, you know what, I have a business idea, I'm going to come and pitch it to you? How did that whole process go about?
yeah. So in my mind, as I was thinking about starting this, I knew that I would need the help of somebody who knows business.
Right.
And despite knowing a few people, most of them were already involved in something, and they would not have the bandwidth. A and
Right.
second is, I don't think they would be interested. I knew that Kailash and Mayur loved education.
uh
Uh, Even back in the day when we used to sit and chat, we would
right.
talk about things. Sometimes, every once in a while, some science topic would come up, and we would uh, discuss that or talk about it. So they were, had a soft spot for education.
Right.
Plus, they had great business news. They are very skilled businessmen. And
Okay.
I knew that they would have the bandwidth, they would have the time, because their restaurants had become almost self-running. They had set up their structures really well.
Hmm.
And so when it was in my mind always that these two are the people, if I'm doing a business with, most likely, if they say yes, then these two are the people that I want to do this company with. So from the beginning, it was quite clear to me that they would be the ideal candidates. And I was very happy that when I spoke to them, they actually said yes,
Okay.
both of them. And then I discussed the plan with them, and from there on, we
so
were
the
meeting regularly.
so the first time that you pitched the idea to them, it was just the concept, no numbers.
No numbers, no, just the
No
concept.
numbers, no PPTs, nothing. Okay. So, and when they said yes, you went back and you worked on the business model and stuff like that, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. So, did you do that by yourself? You got help from somebody?
Uh, I think I gave them a broad outline of what the business will be like, because I
Hmm.
had sort of visualized it and I
Hmm.
had planned it reasonably well in my mind.
Okay.
I wanted it to be a little bit different. I did not want it to be the same thing. It should not look, like the hair on your head. You should not. It should not look like just another business which you cannot distinguish, which a customer will never be able to distinguish. It should not look like that.
Right.
It should. It should not be radically different. It's very difficult to come up with a business that's radically different. You can't do that
Right.
easily. But
Right.
it should be slightly different, and it should provide that sufficient value. So I felt that it ticked both those boxes.
Hmm.
And the plan, because it was reasonably clear in my head, I was able to make a plan.
Hmm.
And then I took the plan to them and I talked to them, and they had their own inputs and ideas and so on and so forth. So after that, we did our what we call the brainstorming,
Hmm.
and yeah, I think they put a significant amount of contribution, to building Skoolbx into what it is now.
Got
Their
it.
contribution was pretty big, despite the fact that they were not from the educational business.
Yeah.
Purely from the fact that they were businessmen, they were able to think of a lot of things which never really occurred to me.
You.
But they were great
Got it.
ideas. Yeah.
So, when you pitched it, so what was your pitch like? What was your idea? Did you just say, what, I have this idea, I've been working with this company called eTutor World,
Yeah.
where, they connect teachers and students. I would like to also start another company that would like to connect teachers and students. Is that what was your pitch?
Yeah, kind of, but with a twist. I want to make sure that the students and the teachers are paired properly. So one more
Ah,
level of
that was your USP.
yeah, one more level of the personalization, so to speak.
Got it.
So not just they should match in having the right grades, subjects, and so on and so forth. Even being from the same region, but their personalities also should match. So I felt that it would help the students and the teachers as well. It would save a lot of headaches, basically.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is very interesting because I was curious about what was the kind of differentiating factor,
Yeah.
and it happens to be something that we already discussed. Now, Hubert, tell me something. When you pitched the idea was fine and all those things, right? But
Yeah.
you looked at them as somebody who would invest in your business, right? The capital part is what would come from them.
Um, Not so much. I didn't think of them as investors. I thought of them as people who would give it
Business acumen,
business direction. Yeah,
direction.
to
Got it.
take it there. And they knew a lot of people also, because being part of that setup, they would know a lot more people there. They would also know investors. So indirectly, yeah, I mean they
So
would be
Kailash
able
and
to.
Mayur are not the investors, so to say.
They're not the investors.
Oh, okay, fine. You have investors, someone
Outside of that,
else.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and they helped you find
yeah.
investors.
Three other people have invested in the business at separate times.
Okay,
Uh,
interesting. So when Kailash and Mayur you met, right? I mean, just to very interesting. Another interesting point is, you directly, I'd like to like observe one thing here. At least what strikes me is that when somebody has an idea, the first thing that they think about is, money. But what stands out for me with the way you approach this, Hubert, is the fact that you acknowledged that you might have the idea, but you might totally be lacking the business direction and the business side of it. And you thought, okay, you need co-founders just to take care of this, and then you going to them, and then further as a team of three, you going to investors is a very interesting thing. But tell me something. What were the questions or what were the concerns that were raised by Kailash and Mayur before they decided to come on board?
um, I think one of the concerns, one of the things that they had is they said they will never get involved in the business on a day-to-day business. They can't get involved
Right.
because they have other things to do, and they could not commit to that. They would try and contribute as much as they could,
Hmm.
but they would provide an overview. So the
Hmm.
groundwork had to be done by someone else. So that was one thing that they made very clear from the
Hmm.
outset.
Hmm.
Um, and I think then the numbers, we talked about numbers and so on and so forth, and certain process, but nothing more than that. I think they just wanted to make sure that uh, they were not sort of involved in the small things, just running of the business. They would provide the ideas, which is exactly what I wanted them for. We can
Right. Right.
always get people to do the groundwork, but it's very difficult to get people who would be able to plan out a business
Okay.
correct properly, so that tomorrow you don't have to undo and restart.
Got it, Hubert.
Yeah.
So, okay, now see, from a business angle, right? It's, having teachers, students, from the outset doesn't look like it needs a lot of capital. You can start off even without much capital as a
Yeah.
business technically with one teacher, one student. Also, you're live and all those
Correct.
things. But now tell me, did you start off the business in a small way and parallelly did you start finding investors? Or did you even think that you needed capital where you had to go and find some external investors? So this entire process, like how did it go about?
I think from the day we started the business, while we were developing the platform,
Right.
it was about 3 months to develop the platform.
Okay.
So at that time itself, we approached an investor because we wanted it to be reasonably big from the day one.
Huh.
Um,
So
yeah,
you outsource the development of platform, is it,
yeah, we did.
to a team
We
of software
knew,
developers?
yeah, we knew a group of three. They had a small setup,
Okay.
and they had done work before
Hmm.
for Kailash, and I knew
Ah.
them as well.
Okay.
Not very closely, but I knew them, and I knew about their work. More importantly,
Right.
their background was really good.
Hmm.
So we needed someone who could not just develop it, but obviously, of course, be on hand to support, to provide support. So that was very important to us. So they built it, and now they are, providing us the support as well.
Got it. So your capital was needed right from this point when you started building the
Yeah.
platform.
To develop the platform, we needed capital, and
Okay.
then, of course, to do marketing is not much. We have actually, strangely, not done too much of marketing, which we want to change right now. So the next step for us is that we are looking to partner with a company in the US
Hmm.
that would help us to get a foothold there, get customers from us from there. Right now we are more India centric with few students in the US,
Hmm.
but now I want to get into the US market and get students from there. So we need a partner, because for us uh, it would be a huge deal to get involved right now with all the monies and so on. So this partner is a local there, and setting up a company and things like that is, or
Right.
being a partner is easier for him rather than for us. So he will be our eyes and ears there. We needed someone local there.
Got it.
um, yeah, it would save us a lot of costs
From a
mainly.
student acquisition perspective.
Yeah.
Got it, Hubert. So when you started off, you waited for the platform to be fully developed before you started your first teaching
Yes.
assignment for Skoolbx.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long did the platform development take, Hubert?
So it took about 3.5 months to develop. Then there was about a month and a half of testing.
Okay.
Um in that time also, a lot of changes happened. There were
Hmm.
things that which we felt could have been done better. There were things that were not working, and so on
Hmm.
and so forth.
Hmm.
So yeah, so we started in about May, I think, of no April or something, and then uh, I think by about August, September is when we were ready to,
Go
and then
live.
we got our student. Yeah,
This
go
was
live.
2019.
2019, yeah, end of
2019.
2019. Yeah, but I
Got
think
it.
by the time we had formalized the company and so on, it was 2020 already.
Got it.
Yeah.
Hubert, one of the important things for online tutoring, right, is the tool. Like we're using Riverside now. There
Okay.
was Zoom and stuff like that. So did you build one custom for yourself, or you just integrated with the solution?
We had the Zoom API which we used.
Okay. Okay, you integrated with Zoom. Great.
We integrated. So
And even today you use Zoom for your classes
even today we use Zoom. Yeah,
on Skoolbx platform.
on Skoolbx.
Okay,
We have,
got it.
of course, the corporate account with them.
Got it. Got it. But it's not white labeled, right?
No, it's not quite late.
Yeah. Got it. So, the first few students, did you kind of use your network to bring in, or was that okay? Got it.
Yeah, it's through my network. I
Okay.
think, yeah, we had a pretty decent network, because like I said, I had advertised myself
Hmm.
quite fervently in
Right.
the years preceding the start of Skoolbx. Uh, yeah, it was. I
You
think
were
I
on all the
went
major
overboard.
platforms,
Yeah,
and
I
that
went
kind of helped.
overboard with that. Yeah, but I
Sometimes
wanted
I'm sure you would have also had to reject due to bandwidth in the past. So,
that also happened. Yeah, so those people were, yeah, had been assigned to our tutors. That's right.
and tutors also, you had a network already. Was it easy for you to source the tutors
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the beginning?
yeah. On LinkedIn, I think uh, among my connection, about 5,000 of them were just teachers. So I had access to a large pool of teachers, and few of them I was in even reasonable communication with. So it was easy to identify the right people and get them in.
Okay. And what is the today? Where's Skoolbx at? What's the team you have? How many teachers? How many students?
Yeah. So the tech team is about 3 people.
Oh, you have an in-house
Uh,
team now.
no, I mean it's these guys. It's not in
Oh, okay,
house.
yeah,
These
got it,
three.
got it, got it. They are your
We
tech
work
people. Got it,
independently, but they are on hand almost at any time.
got it.
So 3 of them. Then we have our social media team. There
Mm-hmm.
are 2 people who are working on that,
Okay,
creative and the
content.
marketing kind of thing. Yeah, know-how of what are the platforms and so on and so forth. Then there is one coordinator
Hmm.
who basically coordinates if there's any queries from students, parents, teachers, something like that. So the good thing was that to save on the number of people,
Hmm.
we sharpened up the software so much so that
Hmm.
it's very less reliant. Otherwise, when I was working with the previous company, I noticed that for every 50 students, they would have one coordinator. But here we could make do with many, many more students
Okay,
with just that one coordinator.
got it.
So then, apart from that, uh, I think we have about, in finance, there are 2 people more. Our team is very small. Our team is just about 7 or 8 people.
Okay,
Apart from that, it's the teachers. The biggest team is
teachers,
the teacher, but the teachers are freelance. So
freelance.
they are
Okay,
paid on an hourly basis,
okay,
depending on the work that they get. So we are paying them from the revenue we receive, as opposed to, if we had hired them, we would have been paying them from uh, the money that we have.
right.
But eventually, we are looking to, get a few teachers who will be with us
Full
permanent,
time.
full
Okay,
time,
on a payroll.
on a payroll.
Okay, got it. And what is the hourly fee that you pay to the freelance teachers?
Uh,
It ranges from,
between
is it
400,
uniform?
uh, kind of, depending on India and US.
Okay.
So 440 is the remuneration for a tutor for teaching Indian students,
Mm-hmm.
and 600 is the remuneration for teaching a US student. Those are
Got
the
it.
only 2 pay scales. Yeah,
Got it. And what is your process to hire any teacher, be it freelance or,
yeah, it's quite a process.
okay.
So initially, there is a screening call that's made to the teachers just to check the communication skills.
Hmm.
Uh, of course, before that, they would have sent us their CV. So
CV.
we
Yeah.
look through the CV and see if they qualify. And if they qualify, we would one of us would make a call
Okay.
and screen them to just assess their communication skills. So on a 30-40 second phone call, you'd get a fair idea of how they
Yes.
speak.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And then if they go through that as well, then we call them in for a 20-minute demo session. So during the
Hmm.
demo session, they would show us their teaching skills.
Hmm.
There are certain processes that we follow there.
Right.
And once they go through that, then you know they're hired. Once they're hired, then they go through a 3-day training program,
Mm-hmm.
and one mock session with a dummy student,
Right.
um, and then they are put live.
Got it, Hubert. And from a CV perspective, right? So do you have, okay, they should have done their B.Ed, or they should have done a bachelor's in physics, or how do you filter that?
I just look at teaching experience. I don't look at
Right.
qualifications at all. I'm not like, I don't even like, that doesn't matter to me at all. I
Okay.
just look at how long they've, whether they've had teaching experience. It could be anywhere between 2 years to anything. So
Got
if
it.
I know that they've taught before, they can teach.
Got it.
So then I assess the skills, and not just me, but the team is able to assess those skills based on certain parameters. And yeah, that's how we go about it. I think the next round is to also get them to do a sort of a video presentation
Right.
uh, of a topic that they can teach just for 1 minute or 2 minutes.
Right.
um, yeah, so for me, teaching skill is more important than maybe
The knowledge,
a
the
degree.
experience that they have, the degree they have, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Got it. Got it. And when they use Zoom, right? Is it, do you have pre-prepared content slides that you aid them with, or do they have to use a tablet and a pen, or how does that work,
No
Hubert?
pre-prepared content for them at
Okay.
all, because we are a company that does after school tutoring,
Right.
which means the student can come to you with any doubt. They say that today we have learned Pythagoras' theorem. Excuse me.
Right.
Today
No
we have
problem. Yeah.
learned Pythagoras' theorem.
Hubert,
So
do you
you
need a
can
break or something? Do you want to like walk around, go for
no,
a
no,
coffee break?
and I
Okay.
just needed
Please
to
feel
stretch
free. I
out.
mean, this is a, yeah.
I just needed to stretch out. But yeah, so it is after school tutoring, not so
Okay.
much a course. I think some companies take on a whole year package for a student. So
Right.
from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, it could be like a 96-hour, 100-hour package, and they
Right.
would teach, session one this topic, then give the homework. Session two this topic. So for them,
Correct.
preparing that pre-prepared content is much easier. So then teacher would just have to follow the content and go on. And even if you could have either a single student or a group or something like that, so
Right.
economically it works out for them. But somehow I didn't feel that serves the students' need. I
Yeah.
mean, what's the point of them
What's the
learning
point? Exactly.
something else? And also it puts extra burden on the students. So if they're learning one thing in school and something else outside of school, then they'll have to do two homeworks, learn two things.
Right.
So it's not really. And most of them come to us seeking help from their schoolwork anyway, so we can't really burden them with something more.
Okay.
So after school, I felt is better, and that's why there's no pre-prepared content. But we have a library of curated content that we
Hmm.
always curated content, as in YouTube videos that any of the teachers would find uh, good, and along with a comment on that. So the teacher would just write a few lines on why that particular content is good, what is there in that, and it would be grade and subject board specific. So we put that in there, and any teacher can access that. So it would be not just videos, but it could be notes, it could be worksheets, it could be tests that have been prepared previously. So it's there on our platform. So any teacher can access that at any point of time, either before a lesson or during a lesson as well.
Got it, Hubert. Okay, before I ask you further questions, right, I just realized I'll just go a couple of steps back. Uh, can you, share with us what problem does Skoolbx solve? What is it addressing?
So we are solving essentially the problem of uh, relatable tutoring. Let's put it that way. So there's
Right.
nobody that does relatable tutoring. There are companies that do tutoring, provide content,
Hmm.
but uh, is it solving? Is it how well are they solving the students' problem? Most of them are focused on doing the job,
Right.
but we take it one notch up. So
Hmm.
we do the job in the way that would suit you best,
Hmm.
by making sure that we personalize your learning.
Hmm.
I would say, if that one problem that we solve, we personalize tutoring at a
Hmm.
much higher level. So if you had to, if you were a student that was not too good at school, or even if you're a student that was really good, either way,
Hmm.
what would you want to learn? Would you want to learn a pre-prepared content?
Hmm.
Maybe yes, but
Hmm.
we are not into that.
Right.
Your What your academics are at school, how to
Hmm.
excel in that,
Hmm.
I think that is our focus. And
Hmm.
giving you a teacher that is uh, matched to you personality wise. So it's a level of personalization that's not there. It may not be a different anything radically different, but it's an improvement from what's there. So you can say we are solving the problem of personalization, you can say.
Got it, Hubert. And so now let me just, go a little deeper. So you are not having any pre-prepared content. You don't, follow a curriculum. You don't have a content and stuff like that. You are trying to help students with their doubts. So a typical session is like what? A student comes on the class, and then the teacher, let's say, is the subject decided before the class? What subject is going to be done?
Not
Nothing.
always. I mean,
Okay.
initially may not even be, but after sometimes some teachers would, uh, say that I think next class we can do this. So students say, yeah, it looks okay because I'm quite okay with what's happening at school, so we can go in this particular way, but not often. I think it could
Interesting.
be it's 75% of the time the teacher doesn't know what that session is going to be about.
Even the subject. It could be physics, chemistry, maths.
If a tutor is teaching multiple subjects, yes, it
Oh,
could be.
wow.
So
Okay.
there are many teachers who teach physics and math.
Right.
Uh, so a student can come in and say, today can we do math? Yeah, sure. So
Ah,
those are the kind of teachers we are looking for who can think on their feet.
got it. Got it. Got it. Uh, Perfect. And do you have a pre-timed? I mean, do you have the time fixed for a session at a
Yeah,
certain? Okay, and what is that?
students book. No, I mean students because they're one to one. So
Huh.
students can book. So there's a calendar on the
Okay,
site.
fine. And what is the minimum time slot that you offer, Hubert?
1 hour.
1 hour is the minimum.
Yeah. 1 hour. Sessions are ideally 1 hour. It's actually 55 minutes.
Okay.
So if a tutor has back to back, they can,
Yeah,
log
take a
in
5 minute break. Yeah,
minutes and turnaround time is needed.
got it. And so you sell a bundled number of hours to the students
Yeah.
on a monthly basis. Okay,
No, they can just buy a package of
package
5 hours, 10
5
hours. So
hours.
someone
Okay.
wants to initially try us out. I don't want them to commit. Like, other sites make
Right,
you pay for the
right,
entire year and so on. That's
correct.
a huge burden on the parents. And, it's a commitment that if they want to get out of, they can't. So it's not fair and right on our part to get them stuck with something
Yeah,
that they may
yeah.
not really like. And it shows our confidence as well that, we are confident in our business that if we give you 5 hours,
You're gonna come back for
we're
more.
going to come back. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have that insecurity where you know what, I'm gonna catch hold of the student now only, and then put them for 300 hours or
Yeah. Yeah.
200 hours.
Yeah.
There are
And most
companies that do that.
Yeah, most of the time they repeat. Like initially they'll buy 10 hours, 5 or 10 hours to try us out. Then next time they'll buy for 50 or 100 hours. They'll say that we are quite happy. So we just one shot. We'd like to book for the entire year instead of doing this again and again. So I think that's usually the pattern.
Got it. Great, Hubert. And how many students do you see enroll on a monthly basis? Like, how many unique students that come in?
I think about as of now, not major. Say about 4 to 5.
4 to 5 students come
It's
in.
not a lot, but
Okay.
each student does about 8 hours, 10 hours.
Okay.
So if you multiply that, it's a pretty decent number, right? Eight
And how many
into
total students do you have put together at this
So
point in
as
time?
of now, it's close to 100 students.
100 students. And they take about what you say average of 8 hours a month, is it?
8, 10 hours,
10 hours a month.
12
So
hours, some of them. So eight to 10 maybe like an average.
1,000 hours a month is what you do at this point in time.
Yeah,
On an
about.
average, ballpark.
No, you're right. You're right. Close to.
Yeah. And you're adding 4 to 5 students every month as well. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and how many, what's the pool of teachers that you have? How many teachers do you have?
So we have about 50 odd teachers, I think 57 or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And what is the average number of hours that teachers get on a daily basis or a monthly basis?
So some teachers are really part-time.
Okay.
They may only make themselves available for about 2 hours a day or something, and that 2 alternate days or something like that.
Right.
So they may only be available for 15 to 20 hours. Some are
Got it.
little
On a
more,
monthly basis.
yeah, some are little more active. They could be doing like 60, 70 hours
A
a month.
month.
Yeah, not more. I don't think anyone does over 60 or 70 hours.
Got it. And at this point, what is the age group that you cater to?
Which group of students?
Yeah, students,
Grade
students,
6 to
students.
12. Not younger than 6.
Not younger, grade
Grade
6
6.
to grade 12. And
Yeah.
the curriculum is not an issue. Any curriculum?
Curriculum is, the Indian board, CBSE and ICSE, and some state boards.
Okay.
And international boards, in India, we do IGCSE and IB.
IB.
And
Okay.
UK, we are doing GCSE.
Okay.
And US, of course, state and Common Core both.
Got it, Hubert. And you said you've got about say 100 students roughly, right? So far.
Yes.
What is the marketing activity that you employ that is in process right now to get the students, and how aggressive are you? Do you have a sales team? No, it's a product led.
Yeah,
Great.
that's sadly, that's something that I should have done and I didn't. But
Mhm.
partly because I wanted there was a lot of software development that was going on. The
Right.
backend needed to be better, more precise. A lot of the processes had to get sharpened up and become better.
Right.
Um, we did not go all out and do marketing. I think we had a decent number during COVID,
Hmm.
and so there's no marketing. There's only those two people doing social media marketing. That's the only marketing we do.
That's how you get all your students.
I think from uh, word of mouth and referrals from our current students is what we've, and from my, you know, uh, inner circle, that's how we've got students so far.
Okay.
But now I told you earlier that we are looking to go ahead and tie up with a
Partner
gentleman
in
in
the US. Right.
company in the US, and that's hopefully that will kickstart. And they come with someone who has great marketing knowledge and experience,
Okay.
so we can utilize that.
Got it. Okay. And there's no pressure from the investors as such and stuff.
No, so far nothing. Yeah, I
Okay.
told them, like, I want to get the processes right.
Okay.
If your foundation is good, then building up and
And
scaling
these are
easy.
like what type of
Family,
investors?
friends,
Oh, okay,
friends
fine.
essentially.
Individuals, friends and family.
Individuals, yeah, not professional investors. No, not
Not
yet.
that sort of a.
No, not that.
Got it.
So because they were willing to be patient with us, and I always felt that if we get the groundwork
Hmm.
uh, done and the processes within are proper and good, it would be better it would be easier to scale up later.
Right.
But I think going too aggressively in the beginning without having your uh, product developed properly will lead to a lot of problems and customer dissatisfaction. And you can't play around with a student's life and things like that. So you have to be very careful from that perspective also.
Got it. So you said you're also looking to hire teachers on your payroll.
Yes.
Uh, what is the thought process behind that? Why did that come about? Did you
Yeah.
face an issue where freelance
Yeah.
teachers went available,
Yeah.
where classes cancelled ad hoc because of
Yeah.
that?
Sometimes that happens, and sometimes what happens is, uh, you know, some teachers last minute, especially for demo, a regular class cancellation, we are not that worried about, because that class can be rescheduled. Of course, it is not good to do that often, but once in a while is okay. But for a demo class, when it
Hmm.
gets cancelled, we
Hmm.
lose the customer.
Hmm.
So that is something that will affect us a lot, because we spend a lot of effort getting that customer to the demo.
Right.
So losing that is not good. So a few teachers who are all rounders,
Hmm.
who can teach more than one subject, more than one grade, and so on and so forth, plus help us out with creating content. Excuse me.
No problem.
Help us out with creating content and other things. So these are the kind of people that we are looking for on a retainer.
Got it. Creating content and stuff.
Yeah.
But you said you don't have any pre-prepared content and stuff. So what's your plan with
This is
content creation?
curated content. So
Okay.
content that the teachers could use.
Could
We have
refer
a
when
library.
they got it. Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
some good notes and things like that, and just sift through all of that.
Got it.
We are also planning to create online tests.
Hmm.
Uh, we were looking to tie up with a company, but we somehow did not find the content that good, or whatever they were offering.
Hmm.
So we felt that if these teachers who are working with us could get us those, then it will be like a self, students could do the test themselves online if it's multiple choice,
Got it.
so they can get graded immediately. Parents also get a sort of validation, and at their own time, at their own convenience, they can choose the topics of their choice, grade, subject, and so on, and do these tests. So the next plan is to do this, because that will serve the students and the parents a little bit better.
Got it, Hubert. So you were talking about demo classes. Now there are number of things that I'm thinking about the demo class. So you pay the teachers for demo class as well,
Yes.
and that's not as much as what you pay them for the
Yeah, demo class
paid
is
classes.
typically 20 minutes.
Okay.
So,
Oh, just 20 minutes. Okay.
excuse me.
No problem.
The teacher would get paid about 250 rupees
Okay.
for a demo class, which is a little more than half.
Right.
But the time duration is less, and we don't take, of course, anything from the student.
Got it. And the teacher who does the demo class, is that the same teacher that goes on to teach the student as well?
Yeah, most likely, yeah. Unless they say that we were not happy with the demo class, then we suggest another demo with another teacher.
Another teacher. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. But irrespective, you end up paying the teacher.
Yeah.
And what is the conversion rate?
Right now, it's about 70-ish%. Because
Amazing.
all of these, these leads that come to us are from people who are serious and who are known to us, and they're serious about it. It's not that they have come from marketing and so on. So then the conversion rate would be much lesser. But these are almost certain they really want it, and they sort of trusted me in the past, or someone they knew has trusted me in the past.
The students you're talking about.
The students and parents, yeah. So those are the ones that come to us. So most likelihood they would convert, but sometimes they say, why don't you teach? Why is the teacher teaching? So that time sometimes some rejections happen. Yeah.
Got it.
Or for price, I think, because we pay our tutors better than most of the other companies pay.
Yeah, that's evident. Yeah.
And plus we charge the students a little bit more, obviously, because of that. Our profit margin is not too much, but it still is more than many of the other companies are doing. But I feel that you would rather do 5 classes with a good tutor rather than do 20 classes with a not so good tutor,
Average
because
tutor.
there will be nothing that you will gain from that.
Right.
Even if the price is cheap, this is not an industry where price should be it is, of course, consideration, but we price it as best as we can, because we get good tutors, really good tutors. So the pricing is as best as we can, because I don't want to sacrifice for the sake of money the quality of tutoring. So I'm trying to give the students the best, from my side,
Got it.
and also the teachers. And this is what we felt would be an ideal sum or ideal amount. And they should be able to teach, better than anyone else that the student might encounter locally or from any other platform. I don't want to put down other platforms, and sure, they're doing their best, but I want my quality to be a few notches above, because in this field and in this line, I think quality makes a huge difference.
Of course. Yeah. And your teachers, most of them, is there a pattern, from a background perspective? Are they all working for software companies, or are they all professors and teachers? What are they like, Hubert?
I think most of them are active teachers, most of them.
Okay.
But there are other people also who some of them who've never taught in a school, some of them who are professionals, who love teaching, and who do only tutoring, and it could even be housewives who have time at home, but who are also good tutors. The thing is, they have to be good teachers. There is no compromise on that.
No compromise. Yeah.
They have to be good at teaching, because that is what the customer expects.
Right.
And that we cannot compromise on at all. Yeah.
Got it, Hubert. I was on your website. I'm on your website right now.
Okay.
I see, the grades, the curriculum, the
Yeah.
test prep and all those things. But I don't see subjects. What are the subjects you teach?
Math and science.
Okay.
It's,
Nothing else.
yeah,
You don't get requirements also for other subjects like
we do.
languages or
We
history,
do get this.
geography?
Yeah, there are actually a few students who have, but this is a primary thing. There are, interestingly, uh, language. I did not expect it, but language requirements are quite huge. I did not know that. So we recently got French, Spanish, Kannada,
Okay.
Hindi
Huh.
tutors, and they've got a decent amount of students. Yeah.
Got it.
So
So apart from maths and science, you're also teaching languages now.
yeah, there are a few children who come, but that's so far majority is math and science.
Got it. I see, test preps like
S
SCAT,
SCA.
COGAT, SAT, PSAT, ACT, and all those things.
Yeah,
I'm going to ask you, I don't know about a lot of those, but I do know about SAT and ACT.
yeah.
ACT is a online
Similar to
test, if I'm not
SAT.
wrong.
Yeah,
It's
similar
an
to
online
SAT.
version of SAT,
Yeah,
correct? And SAT now recently they've come out saying that from next year onwards in the US it's going to become online, and in other countries it's going to be
of
online right away.
hybrid and yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have, a tool to simulate that experience? Because, I mean, as much as the subject and the topics are there, it's also the whole, as when it comes to tests, right, especially online, it also has to do with the technology and the atmosphere and simulating that atmosphere as much as possible, because
Yeah.
these are all 5 minutes matters in these exams, right?
Yes.
So, how are you addressing these things? Are you having your platform replicating this, Hubert?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not on the platform right now, Jagmohan. It's in the teacher's hands. So
Okay.
these teachers have background of teaching these tests. So they have taught previously to students, and they give them these. They give them the time tests. Obviously, preparing them with stress test. Yeah, I think you're pretty knowledgeable about the SAT, and SAT. You have to do a lot of tests to
Right.
be able to attempt the SAT. You can't just learn the topics and go into. So that's why the next round of planning we are trying to get these quizzes and tests on board so students can attempt them by themselves also and see the results, and then there will be of course a data analysis and so on and so forth of the results, and that will go to student, parent, and teacher. So after every test they can review and work on the areas that need to be worked. Yeah, that's the next planning. That's what we are seeking the uh, uh, funding for the next round. That and the app that we want to develop.
Got it, Hubert. This is like you're going for a professional investor sort of a funding
Yes,
pitch.
yes, yeah,
Got it. Hubert, great. I just want to go a little bit back, from the when you said that, you got your funding from your family and friends. But then, you had to kind of, show them something, right? This is what the business is going to be like, projections and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
how did you solve that? You cannot always be right with what you project, right?
yeah.
So how conservative or aggressive were you, and are you right now meeting your projections that you made, when you took the funds?
Yeah. I think I told the investors initially that for first 2 years don't
Mhm.
expect any return. So I gave them a
Okay.
very low expectation
Hmm.
because I knew that there would be a lot of groundwork preparing the things. So I said we'll not work typically like most startups work, because startups, the general idea is to scale as quickly as possible,
Right.
but somehow that doesn't seem to be right to me at the very beginning. uh, so for me, I think the first 2 years was a time when we had to develop our platform really well,
Got it.
get a groundwork for our processes and operations,
Got
and
it.
then go in. Yeah, we have been a little slow and little relaxed in this field, but the investors are okay with it because they knew what to expect. But I think the next 2 years, knowing that we have a decent foundation, I think we'll be able to kick on.
Got it, Hubert. I
Is
think
easier now. Yeah.
I think this attitude, I don't know. I mean, I don't know much, right? I mean, not that I've experienced your product, but from what I've spoken to you and having a little bit of knowledge about how other platforms work, the way you seem to have maintained, it seems, that is kind of reflecting on your work, because with pressure, it's not sometimes easy to maintain quality. I think, I mean, I don't know, my appreciation to you for, keeping the way it is. It sounds really good. It comes across, very genuine, and looks like you're actually solving the problems that you set out to solve. So it comes across to me like that. Great. And so, Hubert, do you still continue to teach, or you're now fully in the managing of Skoolbx?
Yeah, I mean, I think every day there is at least a little bit of teaching that I do. For
Okay.
me, day seems incomplete if I don't do anything
Yeah.
small. But yeah, it has taken, it has gone down the number of classes and students that I take, just a few. Um, but I think the teachers are good now. They are really, picking up on all the processes. They learn very quickly, and
Right.
I've learned to trust them a lot more now. Initially, I used to be on their case all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, now I realize that too much of micromanagement is not good.
Yeah.
It irritates them, and you should trust them also. So I've learned to do that little bit better now. Yeah.
Do you do
So,
demos?
pardon me.
Do
Yeah,
you do
yeah. I
demos?
got a lot of training sessions for them every now and then. Um but difficult to get everyone together sometimes at the same time.
Right.
So we're thinking of packaging them and putting them in. So, and the teachers can access them from time to time. So there'll be a task for them that if you do this particular thing, then that task has been completed. Otherwise, it'll show us pending. So they've got to go and watch that video. They'll learn something, and so on and so forth. And um, yeah, that's my idea.
Got it, Hubert.
Whatever
And
I learn, I want to pass it on to them.
yeah, got it. And all the sessions that happens, do you record them for quality purpose? Do you like
Yes,
have a
yes,
okay? Is
yes.
there
I think
somebody who
Zoom.
goes through all these
Yeah,
classes,
yeah, yeah. I think Zoom by default records the
records it?
session. So when
Okay,
you have a paid account with them, I
paid
think
account, right?
automatically they
Hmm.
record. But yeah, there is somebody who goes through not
Okay,
all the sessions, but I think for
random,
every tutor, maybe 1 in 5 or 6 sessions they go through. And there are some parameters that they look for. Like a session is divided into 6 parts.
right?
So during those times, are all of these parameters met for quality reasons, and so on and so forth. And other things like is homework, tests, test results, and all of that to measure the students' progress
Right.
is is there. Yeah.
Got it, Hubert. Great. So, Hubert, I think as far as trying to understand about your business, about you, Skoolbx, I think I pretty much have all my questions covered. And probably just another question. You're doing one-to-one now. Do you, at some point, looking to do group sessions as well? Has that idea come?
I'm yeah, I'm little against online group sessions. I don't mind group sessions if they're held
Right.
face to
Face
face.
to
But
face.
I think online group sessions, to me, very difficult to hold the attention of many children. So when children are online, they are in their own space, they are in their own world. Distractions come easy to them when they are on a computer. So we have something in our training manual called the 30-second rule. 30 seconds.
Okay.
So if there is no engagement between the student and the tutor, there is no back and forth for a period of more than 30 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
then the student most likely is gone off somewhere doing something else,
The
Facebook or some other tab or something. So
videos will be on, but right?
their video will be on, but yeah, yeah. That, so you have to make sure. So that's not possible in a group class.
Right, right.
That's why. So group
Yeah,
class
yeah,
is
yeah.
not
Group class is not possible
it's
to. Yeah, yeah.
we would feel that it's economically more feasible, but it's not the right way to do things. We are in this business to provide primarily to provide good education to the children. Making money should be a subset of that.
Right.
They should not sacrifice this to make money, I feel. To me,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
And Okay, you said for the academics, it's doubt spaces, right? Student can come talk about whatever doubts. Is it the same for test prep, or test prep you have a fixed curriculum?
Again, test prep depends on the timeline they have. So not
Hmm.
everybody, comes to us 6 months before an exam. Sometimes they come 1 month, sometimes 3 months, and their requirements are different. Some may
Right.
want us to go through all those four parts of the SAT they have,
Right.
but some of them may just want some. Some of them may just want us to do test and review. So their requirements are different. So no
But
real
the pricing is same. You only charge for the time.
correct.
Got it. Okay, Hubert. Great. Just one final question, just a generic question. Just want to
Yeah.
get your views, given that you're in the teaching thing, right? How do you look at, homeschooling? It seems to kind of be on the rise of late. It's being spoken to. People are open to talking about it. And, see, one of the major problems school solves is, helping kids understand subjects, right? And a company like Skoolbx, you're already doing that. Do you have your sights on kind of expanding this and making it a problem, making it a solution that can solve homeschoolers problem?
At the moment, no, because I think, contrary to what people may say about schools are actually doing a great job because
Okay.
we have such a large population and few teachers, lots of students, few teachers, so that there is that ratio of at least 1:30. One teacher for every 30 students. So given that, and given all the other varied factors, I think they're doing a pretty good job, and they've been doing that for many years. They've sharpened their processes and so on. So I have nothing against schools. So, but we would like to be a support to the schools. Um, Online virtual schooling to me bit tough because, like I said, group classes
Hmm.
online, somehow I feel that there would be a huge quality. If it was a slight quality difference, yeah, we can be okay with that, but it'll be a huge quality drop when you have group classes. So to me, at the moment, given everything that's there, I don't know, things of course can change in the future. I may be wrong on this completely, but based on the information that I have now and my
Hmm.
thoughts on it
Hmm.
coming from the whatever experience I have,
Hmm.
uh, virtual schools above a certain age group, yes,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
agree.
Hmm.
At the
Hmm.
university level, their students are self-driven, motivated, and so
Right.
on. Or even courses like MBA and those sort of things, fine.
Right.
But academic school and high school, I don't think so. And regarding where the reason I was smiling, you said homeschooling, is my children are homeschooled.
See.
Both my children were pulled out
Interesting.
of school in primary,
Okay.
and now they're in grade. One is doing his grade 10 exams now. The other older one is in grade 11.
Got it.
So he did his exam as an independent candidate last year without going to school. He did reasonably well. I think he got some 80.
Congratulations to you, because Hubert, you know what? This is really, I would want to do another session at your convenience just about homeschooling. There's so much, parents are interested, but they have no clue how to, really replace the school, right? And if you've done it successfully,
The
I
most
think,
important thing is time. It's not for everybody.
right.
I
Did
would
it
say,
help that you were a teacher?
yeah, it did help that I was a
Yeah.
teacher. But do you know something?
Hmm.
I think my wife
Hmm.
did most of the work there.
Okay.
So her her contribution was immense to this. I
Right.
had my work commitment, so I could not give time. I think the reason I said it's not for everybody
Hmm.
is because you know people are working now. Both parents are working in most cases these days,
Right.
or they're busy in some other way. And we had also another huge support at our home is my mom is with us.
Hmm.
So, work gets divided and everybody's putting their hand. But even for parents who are living in a nuclear family, husband, wife, and children,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's very difficult because even at home, let's say the man is working and suppose it's the lady that's at home.
Hmm.
Housework is
Yeah.
just a lot.
Yeah.
It's not like they sit around and do nothing. It's you have no time to rest. There's so much going
Yeah.
around, and then if you take on this responsibility of doing this, yeah, it's crazy. So for my contribution was mostly providing the curriculum,
Mm.
the notes, the tests, and so on and so forth. But actually sitting down and doing it was my wife. So it is for people who have the time, and a little bit of discipline is also needed, because you can't let 3 months go by without doing anything. Then you have to restart
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
process.
But what was the reason you pulled your kids out of school?
I think my wife was very, very particular
Okay.
that she wanted them to develop uh, outside of school. Again, no fault of the school or anything like that, but the system itself does not allow you to develop. Again,
Right.
no fault. There's nothing wrong with schools are doing the best they can, but they are hampered.
Yeah.
Now, in a class of 50, how do you expect a teacher to treat everyone as an individual? It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
not possible, right? So you
And
are
schools
treated
don't
as
even
a
have
group.
playgrounds these days, which was
Yeah,
basic
yeah,
back in the day, I
correct,
think.
correct, correct.
Today, there are schools in every residential layout, just
Yeah,
like another apartment, right? And they
yeah,
just go in the building, come out. A lot
yeah.
of things, of course, being whatever
A
I
lot of
said is just one
reasons,
little
and
aspect.
I mean, sad to say again, um, I don't mean this badly on schools, but from the time that we were in schools 30 years back to
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
the quality has definitely dropped. I think everyone will say that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, everyone's just doing the best they can, but unfortunately, that's the way it's turned out. And, you know, with companies like Skoolbx that are learning to supplement school education by taking on that problem of individualization, personalization, and addressing that, uh, I think, and plus what the school is doing, content, the
Right.
two together, the two parties together can make students come out with confidence, knowledge, and so on. And tomorrow, what are we doing? We are contributing to the industry, right? We are making sure that uh, tomorrow most of these children will go into the industry in some
Right.
capacity or the other. They'll be working in various jobs and so on. So they need to be really good, and if they're good at the job, I think the industry productivity is good, and as a result it affects everything positively around, including the country itself. So
Right.
this is our little contribution to that large this thing, but I think every small cog in the wheel
Yeah.
makes a
Makes a
difference.
difference. Yes. Does. Hubert, great. It was wonderful, wonderful talking to you. It was truly an
Likewise.
amazing couple of hours for me. A lot of things, that I learned, and it's amazing the way you spoke about Skoolbx, the kind of journey you had, and the way it's shaping up. It's like one of the best that at least I've come across. Not that I've seen a lot, but still, it feels intuitively. You don't have to see a lot, but then you know that irrespective of how many ever good things are there, this is definitely another good stuff that I think I'm seeing, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank
And yeah, hope we are going to be publishing this. Investors may also come to watch this, and I'm sure a lot of investors will be like super interested. I don't think you're going to have a tough time in that aspect. I think, but yeah. Hubert, thanks again very much.
you.
I'd love to get back to you at some point, and not to learn something, but just from the kind of value that you can provide even to normal parents from a homeschooling perspective. I think it'll be amazing. I'd probably would love to host you and your wife, if you're willing, just to put out some advice, given that you've been there, done that. There are a lot of young parents out there who are like grappling with this. I myself know a bunch of them, so from that aspect I think it'll be another great thing. So great.
I would be
Hubert,
happy to. I would be happy to. Let me know. It's been a pleasure, talking to you, Jagmohan. You've been
thank
like a
you.
wonderful host,
Oh,
someone who's facilitated the conversation and, asked the right questions, given the right prompt. Fantastic. It's such a pleasure speaking with you and spending these 2 hours with you. And I wish you and your venture the very, very best. You guys are doing a great job.
thank
Happy
you,
to be
Hubert.
part of
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank